Having narrated all his terrible visions to his son Methuselah, Enoch said to him, "And now, my son Methuselah, call to me all your brothers and gather together to me all the sons of your mother. For the word calls me, and the Spirit is poured out on me, that I may show you everything that shall befall you forever." And thereon Methuselah went and summoned all his brothers and assembled his relatives. And so Enoch spoke to all his children and said, "Hear, you sons of Enoch, all the words of your father, and hearken as you should to the voice of my mouth. For I exhort you and say to you, beloved, love righteousness and walk in it, and draw near to righteousness without a double heart, and do not associate with those of a double heart, but walk in righteousness, my sons, and it shall guide you on good paths, and righteousness shall be your companion. For I know that violence must increase on the earth, and a great punishment will be executed on the earth. It shall be cut off from its roots, and its whole construct will be destroyed. Yet unrighteousness shall again be complete on the earth, and all the deeds of unrighteousness and of violence and sin shall prevail a second time. And when sin and unrighteousness and blasphemy and violence in all kinds of deeds increase, and apostasy and transgression and uncleanness increase, a great chastisement shall come from heaven on all these, and the Holy Lord will come out with wrath and chastisement to execute judgment on earth. In those days violence shall be cut off from its roots, and the roots of unrighteousness together with deceit, and they shall be destroyed from under heaven. And all the idols of the heathen shall be abandoned, and the temples burned with fire, and they shall remove them from the whole earth. And the heathen shall be cast into the judgment of fire, and shall perish in wrath and in grievous judgment forever. And the righteous shall arise from their sleep, and wisdom shall arise and be given to them. And after that, the roots of unrighteousness, and those who plan violence and those who commit blasphemy shall be cut off, and the sinners shall be destroyed by the sword. Now I shall tell you of the 10 weeks of judgment that shall surely come to pass. I was born in the first week of judgment, when able judgment and righteousness still endured. This first week of judgment spoken of is the time of Enoch, the antediluvian age, the time before the great flood. And Enoch continues saying, "And after my time there shall arise in the second week great wickedness, and deceit shall have sprung up, and in it there shall be the first end. In it also a man shall be saved, and after it is ended unrighteousness shall again increase, and a law shall be made for the sinners." This second week of judgment spoken of is the time of Noah and the great flood, the time of the great cleansing. After that, in the third week at its close, a man shall be elected as the plant of righteous judgment, and his posterity shall become the plant of righteousness forevermore. This third week of judgment spoken of is the time of Abraham. And after that, in the fourth week, at its close, visions of the holy and righteous shall be seen, and a law for all generations, and an enclosure shall be made for them. This fourth week of judgment spoken of is the time of the prophet Moses. After that, in the fifth week at its close, the house of glory and dominion shall be built forever. This fifth week of judgment spoken of is the time of the great King Solomon of Jerusalem. And after that, in the sixth week, all who live in it shall be blinded, and the hearts of all of them shall godlessly forsake wisdom. And in it a man shall ascend, and at its close the house of dominion shall be burned with fire, and the whole race of the chosen root shall be dispersed. This sixth week of judgment spoken of is the time of Jesus Christ, when Christ shall ascend, the temple burned and the elect scattered. After that, in the seventh week, shall an apostate generation arise, and many shall be its deeds, and all its deeds shall be apostate. And at its end, the elected ones of the eternal plant of righteousness shall be chosen to receive sevenfold instruction concerning all of the Lord's creation. For who is there of all the children of men that is able to hear the voice of the Holy One without being troubled? This seventh week of judgment spoken of is the time of the apostate, the time of the judgment of fire. And after this there will be another week, the eighth, that of righteousness. And a sword will be given to it, so that righteous judgment may be executed on those who do wrong. and the sinners will be handed over into the hands of the righteous. And at its end, they will acquire houses because of their righteousness, and a house will be built for the great King in glory forever. This 8th week of judgment spoken of is the time of the sword, when a new heaven and a new earth shall be revealed. After this, in the 9th week, the righteous judgment will be revealed to the whole world, and all the deeds of the impious will vanish from the whole earth. And the world will be written down for destruction, and all men will look to the path of uprightness. This 9th week of judgment speaks of the time of the great and final judgment. And after this, in the 10th week, in the 7th part, there will be an eternal judgment that will be executed on the watchers, and the great eternal heaven will spring from the midst of the angels. And the first heaven will vanish and pass away, and a new heaven will appear, and all the powers of heaven will shine forever, with light 7 times as bright. This 10th week of judgment speaks of the eternal days, when the Lord God's power and kingdom shall reign supreme and forever. These are the 10 weeks of judgment. And after this, there will be many weeks without number, forever in goodness and in righteousness. And from then on, sin will never again be mentioned. And now hearken to me, my sons, and walk in the paths of righteousness, and walk not in the paths of violence. For all who walk in the paths of unrighteousness shall perish forever. Let not your spirit be troubled on account of the times, for the Holy and Great One has appointed days for all things. And sin shall perish in darkness forever, and shall no more be seen from that day forevermore. And after that, Enoch both gave and began to recount from the books, for he said, Concerning the children of righteousness, and concerning the elect of the world, and concerning the plant of righteousness, I will speak these things. I, Enoch, will declare them to you, my sons, according to that which appeared to me in heavenly vision, and which I have known through the word of the holy angels, and have learned from heavenly tablets. And now I say to you, my sons, love righteousness and walk in it, because the paths of righteousness are worthy of acceptance, but the paths of unrighteousness shall suddenly be destroyed and vanish. And to certain men of a generation shall the paths of violence and of death be revealed, and they shall hold themselves afar from them, and shall not follow them. And now I say to you, the righteous, walk not in the paths of wickedness, nor in the paths of death, and draw not near to them, lest you be destroyed. But seek and choose for yourselves righteousness and an elect life, and walk in the paths of peace, and you shall live and prosper. And keep my words in the thoughts of your hearts, and permit them not to be erased from your hearts. For I know that sinners will tempt men to evilly entreat wisdom, so that no place may be found for her, and temptation will increase. Woe to those who build unrighteousness and oppression, and lay deceit as a foundation, for they shall be suddenly overthrown, and they shall have no peace. Woe to those who build their houses with sin, for from all their foundations shall they be overthrown, and by the sword shall they fall. Woe to you, you rich, for you have trusted in your riches, and from your riches shall you depart, because you have not remembered the Most High in the days of your riches. You have committed blasphemy and unrighteousness, and have become ready for the day of slaughter, and the day of darkness, and the day of the great judgment. Thus I speak and tell you, he who has created you will overthrow you, and for your fall there shall be no compassion, and your Creator will rejoice at your destruction. And your righteousness shall be a reproach to the sinners and the godless in those days. You who are righteous, fear not the sinners, for again the Lord will deliver them into your hands, that you may execute judgment on them according to your desires. Woe to you who speak against God, which cannot be reversed. Healing shall be far from you because of your sins. Woe to you who repay your neighbor with evil, for you shall be repaid according to your works. Woe to you, lying witnesses, and to those who weigh out injustice, for you shall suddenly perish. Woe to you, sinners, who persecute the righteous, for you shall be delivered up and persecuted because of injustice, and your yoke shall be heavy on you. Be hopeful, you who are righteous, for suddenly shall the sinners perish before you, and you shall have lordship over them, according to your desires. And in the day of the tribulation of the sinners, your children shall mount and rise as eagles, and your nests shall be higher than the vultures. You shall ascend as badgers and enter the crevices of the earth, and the clefts of the rock forever before the unrighteous. And the satyrs and sirens shall sigh and weep because of you. Wherefore fear not, you that have suffered, for healing shall be your portion, and a bright light shall enlighten you, and the voice of rest you shall hear from heaven. Woe to you, you sinners, for your riches make you appear like the righteous, but your hearts convict you of being sinners, and this fact shall be a testimony against you for a memorial of your evil deeds. Woe to you who devour the finest of the wheat, and drink wine in large bowls and the best of waters, and tread underfoot the lowly and humble with your might. Woe to you who drink water from every fountain, for suddenly shall you be consumed and wither away, because you have forsaken the fountain of life. Woe to you who work unrighteousness and deceit and blasphemy. It shall be a memorial against you for evil. Woe to you, you mighty, who with might oppress the righteous, for the day of your destruction is coming. Believe, you who are righteous, that the sinners will become a shame and perish in the day of unrighteousness. Be it known to you, you sinners, that the Most High is mindful of your destruction, and the angels of heaven rejoice over your destruction. What will you do, you sinners, and where shall you flee on that day of judgment, when you hear the voice of the prayer of the righteous? And in those days the prayer of the righteous shall reach to the Lord. And for you the days of your judgment shall come, and all the words of your unrighteousness shall be read out before the great Holy One, and your faces shall be covered with shame, and he will reject every work which is grounded on unrighteousness. Woe to you who acquire silver and gold in unrighteousness and say, we have become rich with riches and have possessions, and have acquired everything we have desire. And now let us do what we proposed, for we have gathered silver, and many are the servants in our houses, and our granaries are full to the brim as if with water. Like water your lies shall flow away, for your riches shall not abide but quickly depart from you. For you have acquired it all in unrighteousness, and you shall be given over to a great curse. And now I swear to you, to the wise and to the foolish, that you shall have many experiences on the earth. For you men shall put on more adornments than a woman, and coloured garments more than a young woman. Like royalty, and in grandeur, and in power, and in silver, and in gold, and in purple, and in splendour, and in food, they shall be poured out as water. Therefore they shall have neither knowledge nor wisdom, and because of this they shall die together with their possessions, and with all their glory and their splendour, and in shame and in slaughter, and in great destitution, their spirits shall be thrown into the furnace of fire. I have sworn to you, you sinners, just as a mountain has not become a slave, and a hill does not become the servant of a woman, that is the same way sin has not been sent on the earth. But man of himself has created it, and they that commit it shall fall under a great curse. Barrenness has not been given to the woman, but on account of the deeds of her own hands she dies without children. I have sworn to you, you sinners, by the Holy Great One, that all your evil deeds are revealed in heaven, and that none of your wrong deeds of oppression are covered and hidden. And do not think in your spirit, nor say in your heart, that you do not know, and that you do not see that every sin is recorded every day in heaven, in the presence of the Most High. From now on, you know that all your wrongdoing that you do will be written down every day, until the day of your judgment. Woe to you, you fools, for through your folly you shall perish. And you do not listen to the wise, so no good will come to you against the wise. And so, and now, know you that you are prepared for the day of destruction. Therefore, do not hope to live, you sinners, but you shall depart and die, for there will be no ransom for you, because you are prepared for the day of the great judgment, for the day of tribulation and great shame for your spirits. Woe to you, you obstinate of heart, who work wickedness and eat blood, even with all the good things which the Lord the Most High has placed in abundance on the earth. Therefore you shall have no peace. Woe to you who love the deeds of unrighteousness. Woe to you who rejoice in the distress of the righteous, for no grave shall be dug for you. Woe to you who say the words of the wise are empty, for you shall have no hope of life. Woe to you who write down lying and godless words, for they write down their lies so that men may hear them and act godlessly towards their neighbor. Therefore they shall have no peace, but die a sudden death. Woe to you who do godless acts, and praise and honor lies. You shall perish, and no happy life shall be yours. Woe to them who pervert the words of righteousness, and transgress the eternal law, and count themselves as sinless. They shall be trodden under foot on the earth. In those days make ready, you righteous, to raise your prayers as a memorial, and place them as a testimony before the angels, that they may place the sin of the sinners for a reminder before the Most High. In those days the nations shall be stirred up, and the families of the nations shall arise on the day of destruction. And in those days the destitute shall go and throw their children out, and they shall abandon them, so that their children shall perish because of them. They shall abandon their children that are still suckling babies, and not return to them, and shall have no pity on their loved ones. Again, I swear to you, you sinners, that sin is prepared for a day of unceasing bloodshed. And they who worship stones, and carved images of gold and silver and wood and stone and clay, and those who worship impure spirits and demons, and all kinds of idols not according to knowledge, shall get no manner of help from them. And they shall become godless by reason of the folly of their hearts, and their eyes shall be blinded through the fear of their hearts and through visions in their ambitions. Woe to you who spread evil to your neighbors, for you shall be slain in hell. Woe to you who make your foundation that of deceitful sin and lies, and who cause bitterness on the earth, for they shall thereby be utterly consumed. Woe to you who build your houses through the hard labor of others, and all their building materials are the bricks and stones of sin. I tell you, you shall have no peace. In those days in one place the fathers together with their sons shall kill one another, and brothers shall fall in death together, until the streams flow with their blood. For a man shall not withhold his hand from killing his sons and his sons' sons, and the sinner shall not withhold his hand from his honored brother, until they kill one another. Woe to you sinners, on the day of strong anguish, you who afflict the righteous and burn them with fire. You shall be requited according to your works. Woe to you, you obstinate of heart, who watch in order to devise wickedness. Therefore shall fear come on you, and there shall be none to help you. Woe to you, you sinners, on account of the words of your mouth, and on account of the deeds of your hands which your godlessness has caused. For in blazing flames burning worse than fire shall you burn. And now know that the angels will ask him in heaven about your deeds, and from the sun and from the moon and from the stars they will ask about your sins, because on the earth you execute judgment on the righteous. Observe heaven, you children of heaven, and every work of the Most High, and fear him, and work no evil in his presence. If he closes the windows of heaven, and withholds the rain and the dew from falling on the earth on your account, what will you do then? And if he sends his anger on you because of your deeds, you cannot petition him. For you spoke proud and arrogant words against his righteousness, therefore you shall have no peace. Don't you see the sailors of the ships, how their ships are tossed back and forth by the waves, and are shaken by the winds, and are in great trouble? And therefore they are afraid, because all their nice possessions go on the sea with them, and they have bad feelings in their heart, that the sea will swallow them, and they will perish therein. Are not the entire sea and all its waters, and all its movements, the work of the Most High? And has he not set limits to its actions, and confined it throughout by the sand? And at his reproof it fears and dries up, and all its fish die, and all that is in it. But you sinners that are on the earth, fear him not. Has he not made heaven and the earth, and all that is in it? Who has given understanding and wisdom to everything that moves on the earth and in the sea? Do not the sailors of the ships fear the sea? Yet you sinners do not fear the Most High. In those days, if he sent a horrible fire on you, where will you flee, and where will you find deliverance? And when he launches out his word against you, will you not be shaken and be afraid? And all the luminaries shall be shaken with great fear, and all the earth shall be afraid and tremble and be alarmed. And all the angels shall execute their commands, and shall seek to hide themselves from the presence of he who is great in glory, and the children of earth shall tremble and shake. And you sinners shall be cursed forever, and you shall have no peace. Fear you not, you souls of the righteous, and fear not, you who have died in righteousness. And don't grieve if your soul has descended into the grave in grief, and that in your life you were not rewarded according to your goodness. But wait for the day of the judgment of sinners, and for the day of cursing and chastisement. Now therefore I swear to the righteous, by the glory of the great and honoured and mighty one who reigns, I swear to you, I know this mystery. I have read the heavenly tablets, and have seen the holy books, and have found written in it and inscribed regarding them, that all goodness and joy and glory are prepared for them, and written down for the spirits of those who have died in righteousness. And that much good shall be given to you in reward for your labours, and that your lot is abundant beyond the lot of the living. I swear to you that in heaven the angels remember you for good before the glory of the Great One, and your names are written before the glory of the Great One. Be hopeful, for before you were put to shame through sickness and affliction, but now you shall shine as the lights of heaven. You shall shine, and you shall be seen, and the doors of heaven shall be opened to you. And in your cry for judgment, and it shall appear to you. For all your tribulation shall be visited on the rulers and on all who helped those who plundered you. Be hopeful, and do not throw away your hopes, for you shall have great joy as the angels of heaven. What will you have to do? You shall not have to hide on the day of the great judgment, and you shall not be found as sinners. And the eternal judgment shall not come to you for all the generations eternally. And now fear not, you righteous, when you see the sinners growing strong and prospering in their ways. Do not be their companions, but keep away from their violence. For you shall become companions of the hosts of heaven.